The U.S. Department of Energy Office of Legacy Management is committed to managing its responsibilities associated with the legacy of World War II and the Cold War. This legacy includes radioactive and chemical waste, environmental contamination, and hazardous material at over 100 sites across the country. 4 of these sites are located within the Navajo Nation. The Navajo Nation covers more than 26,000 square miles and holds large deposits of uranium ore. 4 uranium mill sites on the Navajo Nation near Monument Valley and Tuba City, Arizona, Shiprock, New Mexico, and Mexican Hat, Utah, processed approximately 4 million tons of ore in the 1950s. Uranium mills used chemicals to extract uranium to make yellowcake, a powder that was processed into nuclear fuel. Mill tailings, a sandy waste containing radioactive heavy metals and radium, are a byproduct of the processing operations and caused surface and groundwater contamination. In 1978, Congress passed the Uranium Mill Tailings Radiation Control Act, or UMTRCA, which set up programs to protect the public and the environment from effects of uranium mill tailings. UMTRCA prioritized the 4 Navajo Nation sites as among the first that DOE addressed. By 1994, all surface remediation, including disposal of residual radioactive materials and debris, had been completed in compliance with U.S. Environmental Protection Agency cleanup standards and regulations. By 1999, subsurface remediation work began. DOE analyzed the sites and developed specific plans, known as remedial action plans, that would target the distinct contaminants at the sites. These plans incorporated the most current knowledge about remediation designs and conceptual models of the 4 Navajo Nation sites.
We work with Department of Energy Legacy Management and through a cooperative agreement with the Navajo AML UMTRA Department. We not only provide oversight on their project activities and their project development, we also provide technical reviews on their technical documents.
The DOE Office of Legacy Management works with the Navajo UMTRA staff to conduct long-term surveillance and maintenance at the 4 Navajo Nation sites. To ensure community and environmental safety, DOE includes tribal groups in site management activities.
DOE works with Denai College and a variety of departments within the Navajo Nation government to help us identify and protect our cultural resources on and around the Navajo Nation. We also employ Navajo contractors and subcontractors to help us monitor and maintain our sites on the Navajo Nation. We have that commitment to our sites where, like I said, especially for the Navajo Nation, that we have that responsibility to the people, and through that responsibility we get help from the Navajo AML UMTRA group, who are our counterparts on the Navajo Nation.
So AML, the UMTRA, the program is assisting the Department of Energy with it, such as they're doing groundwater studies and they're collecting data. Those have to be interpreted back to our leaders and also to the communities, and also to make sure that the Department of Energy is working very well with the communities so that we're empowering the communities to have their input into these projects so that everything and the outcome and the results is what they want, and then we're in compliance with all federal regulations and also in compliance with all the Navajo Nation compliances, as well as all the environmental compliance as far as federal regulation and tribal regulations, and then the needs of the local community. So that's how we're working with the Department of Energy.
Additionally, we also work with them in the avenues of outreach that they do, education and outreach on the local level and also the Navajo Nation level.
In 2007, Congress directed DOE and other federal agencies, including the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Department of Health, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and the Center for Disease Control to work together in consultation with the Navajo Nation to address uranium issues on the Navajo Nation through a 5-year plan. With input from the Navajo Nation groups, the agencies created this plan to coordinate their efforts. After each 5-year period, the agencies report their results and make adjustments to ensure they are addressing the most significant risks to human health and the environment.
We work closely with the Navajo UMTRA, Navajo Nation EPA, and the Navajo Department of Justice. We hold quarterly meetings where we discuss the progress of the work on the sites and the plans coming in the future. This is a collaborative process where we don't just decide and do things. We talk them out before we figure out what we're doing. We make sure everybody's in agreement as much as we can, and then we plan the work, and everybody who needs to or wants to attend the work activities can do so. DOE and the Navajo UMTRA staff monitor over 1,000 wells and other features at these 4 sites to ensure environmental compliance and public health and safety.